Hello, hello, hello. What's good, everybody? It is Thursday night, so it is time to get right back into one of my all-time favorites, Only Murders in the Building. We're going to be getting it in. We got some things to talk about. Oh, my goodness. It is just things are happening. I hear people talking about like this was kind of a slower show. Things weren't going on. They didn't really let. There were some nuggets that were dropped, and if people forgot it, we're about to talk about it, or they didn't notice it, we're about to talk about it right here, right now. And you already know, I'm talking with two of the best in the business. We got the one, the only AK Ray Cray. What's happening tonight?
What's going on? What's going on? I'm feeling the cray of the sister in this episode. I think she was a good vibe, and I don't know what those folks are talking about. I quite enjoyed all of this.
I thought it was madness, mayhem. And
Yeah,
anybody who said we didn't get some new
I didn't see the slowness at all.
Anybody who said we didn't get anything new out of this is out of their mind, and they just flat out missed it.
They didn't watch the same thing we did.
We're going to tell you all about it because there's some things that were discussed. There are some things that were let known. I'm ready to talk about it. How about you, Phantom D Saint?
First off, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
What is good, people? Oh, my gosh. I could not stand that damn sister. Oh, my gosh. That's the reason why I don't want to go home at times now. Oh, my gosh. Why you do that to my boy? My boy. Looking like a lamb chop the entire episode to her.
That was fantastic. You already know, bringing in Melissa. You're about to get some things on some things. It was a great one. And like I said, I can't believe I haven't heard any. I mean, I try not to look too much into anything. And I just wrote this last night. So I don't watch anybody else's things before I write mine and haven't had a chance to write. But I did watch a couple and I haven't heard anybody talk about the major thing that got dropped this episode, and there were a few, so I'm excited to talk about it. Super busy night. We're gonna have to float through this one, but man, I'm telling you, we got some things to discuss on episode 8 of season 1. I haven't quite nailed down the killer, but I will soon. Yeah, exactly. I'm getting ready to do a rewatch of the whole thing starting from Jump Street 2 and definitely get it figured out before season 5 even.
His other comment is hilarious down there.
And my guess is that whoever this killer is, if they were in season 1, we haven't seen them in a minute, because it seems like they were onto them, told them to drop this podcast, but they still kept going. So something must have happened to them. They just either gave up, but then when Saz got onto them, then they're like, okay, I got to start murking people.
Again. They got to start murking people again.
Yeah, let's not get it twisted. Howard is 100% one of the killers.
Oh, this man was telling everyone where the location was. I'm like, Mabel, why did you tell Howard of all people?
Of all people.
My God.
And now half of the state came to find his sister's house. What is wrong with you?
Had the nerve to say, "Don't tell anyone." I mean, are you
like it's Howard? If you tell Howard anything, expect everyone to know about it in 5 minutes.
Especially when he's the murderer. How's the murderer going to get him back into the Arconia? Oh, just tell everybody where they're at, so there's no reason not to come back. You know he's the killer. What's up? We got John Haymaker out there. Jake Cruz, I see you out there. What's up? What's up? Yeah, what's up? We had Lady V in the house.
Actually, Howard would be the killer if he would have felt a certain way when the dog got poisoned for a season. Let's see his reaction, how he felt ever since that dog got poisoned. Because if he felt guilty or some type of way, specifically, then okay, he's the murderer.
Oh, he's the murderer anyway. He's murking them all. He's murking pets left and right. That's why he never has one. That's why he's got to constantly be getting something different. Oh, we got some things to talk about. Only Murders in the Building, Season 4, Episode 7, Valley of the Dolls. And the crew are on the run and wondering where a safe place might be to go, and Mabel suggests Charles' sister's house. But wisely, he's really not trying to lead a killer to his only sister's home. It's like, that was kind of nice of you, Mabel, not to invite yourself over to your mom's house or anything. Let's go over to his sister's house.
But she got a good point. The husband, works for as a policeman or something?
He's a cop.
Yeah, so I would do that.
He's probably there. That's probably the closest place they could go.
I'm guessing
because they're in not Jersey. They're in Long Island. Yeah, that they as far as I know, unless I'm forgetting something, they don't have a whole lot of people in New York. So yeah, that's the closest place they could go.
And like we were just talking about, Mabel, Ma Belle, if you will, just pulls what might be the dumbest of all her moves yet, calling the murderer, aka Howard, letting them know exactly where they're all going. Then has the audacity to say, "Don't tell anyone." I was dying right out the gate. Charles tries to warn them about his sister, but there are just no words. I mean, this woman is on one. It's a thing. Then we get to my favorite part of every episode, and I gotta say, it took me twice. Like after the first time through, I was like, "Did Mabel just have?" And then I watched it again, and I was like, "Okay, it's not just her; it's all of them." Boom. We have any problems spotting out the Easter egg in this one?
Yep.
No, it was clear as
Couldn't
day.
find it this time.
Oh,
I was
really?
looking for a
What?
doll, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, I saw it. I noticed it in the first time, and then on the second one, I was like, "Did Mabel just have pigtails?" And then I
Yeah,
went
that
back
was one of
through,
them.
Is
and
that
I
what it
saw all
was?
of them.
And then with Charles, didn't he have like something on his like except a mustache or something, whatever?
Mm.
Oh, did he? I didn't even notice the mustache, but that plays huge into the biggest Easter egg of what happened this episode that nobody's talking about, that we are definitely going to talk about. And I did not notice him having a mustache, but if so, that is a monster Easter egg. Oh my God, I love that. I need to go back and see that. How did I miss that?
But then
Yeah,
it came to what's his name? Our third guy. Oh my gosh.
what's that?
Who?
And then the third person, is Charles, Mabel, and oh my gosh, I'm puzzling on his name right now.
Oliver, Charles, and Mabel?
There you go, Oliver. I didn't see like what's our Oliver's. It looks like his is the same. Or maybe I missed it.
Oh, I just noticed they were all wearing braids, but dude, if Charles had a mustache on, that is everything. And we have some things to talk about that. Oh, like I said, we see the pigtails definitely played a role in this episode, but did we call another one? Like, is it going to end up being Loretta that was in that picture? Did I call that early? Is that going to be Loretta in that scratched off face in Vince's apartment?
You did call that in a previous stream,
Maybe.
so
We now
Maybe.
know Vince is a lying sack of BS. Like, is the real reason he used to glare over into the east side windows because he was in love with Loretta and knew that she was now seeing one of them?
That would make sense. But then why kill Saz over that though?
Well, we don't know if that's why Saz was killed. Like I said, I'm still on the thing that we have 3 different murder boards. It's going to be 3 different murders for 3 different reasons. They're not going to all be connected like they're trying to make it. I think it's going to be different people getting killed for different reasons. I think that's where we're at with that. But we shall see. We also see that Charles' sister was indeed Melissa McCarthy, and she was every bit as amazing as one would expect. I mean, when she was talking about how she would manipulate Oliver's voice, like, I knew this was going to be a good episode.
slow it down, speed it up, slow it down. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Man, what the fuck you be doing while you listening to these damn recordings?
Oh, she had the big speakers on. Are you kidding me? She was all the way in.
Bruh.
She said, "You're a She said, "You're a 2-towel guy. I can tell, and I want you dry." I was dying.
Ew.
Dying.
I felt violated.
That was amazing. Also, the way Charles tried to like big time it and make it sound all professional, like Mabel just breaks it down on him. You mean you're gonna go talk to the butt lever in the driveway? It was so good. As Charles checks the boat for tools and to help safeten up the place, none other than Bev Mellon comes strolling up. And we already know, like, if she's where these 3 are, everybody knows. Like the secret 100%. That's why you would kill Charles, not Saz. Yeah. But it could have been an accident. Also, the way Charles Charles checks the boat and he grabs those tools. Bev shows up, and it's funny. Like I asked last episode, how would they stay away from the Arconia? Like, what would end up bringing them back? And like I was saying, now we know what'll bring them back. There's no reason to stay gone. Everybody already knows where they're at. So this was the murderer's plan to get them back all along. Just tell everyone where there is, and there's no reason to stay there. And who told everybody where they are? Howard's murdering ass.
Or go somewhere else and don't tell Oliver.
Yes, or Howard, you mean?
Don't tell Howard.
Sorry.
While looking for booze, Oliver gets cornered by Charles's sister, who seems to be more than a little smitten with her little handsome king. And when he said his major flaw was that he was too emotionally available, she about melted right there on the spot. Then Mabel sees it wasn't just Bev who found their little hideout. The actors have just all shown up as well. And Eugene's like, just going to leave us behind to get got? Like she said, I'm pretty sure the killers are after us, not you. And then Zach pulls up his shirt and said, I would reconsider that. Just a gut feeling. Like, that was insane. But she said, like, go ahead.
No, I think I was about to bring up exactly what you were about to say.
I was gonna say, I mean, girl said that they're responsible for their well-being.
That
Why would they be
how
responsible? Yeah.
in the contract, how would they be responsible for that? Why would they be responsible for that?
But then again, this contract's absolutely ridiculous because the contract had written in there to sign over their life rights to be able to put hidden cameras in their places. Like even the brothers sisters couldn't believe they agreed to that. So who wrote up this crazy ass contract and why did they do it like this?
The murderer.
And
The
who
murderer
told them
needed
not? And who
more
told them
damn
not to read it,
eyes. More eyes. And the murderer put that in there.
bro? I almost want to say Charles has some random ass other personality that keeps itself well hidden.
Mm-hmm. Charles might be the killer. He might be the murderer. Why is he so focused on nails and freaking out? Is he's just afraid everybody's getting close to figuring him out? And when the actors were figuring out the murder board on the thing, who was quick to just jump up and take in the direction he wanted to take it in? Charles. Yeah, he might end up being the murderer after all. I gotta go back and see how he started watching that murder podcast and how he got in on all this in the first place. Because he was a loner back then, and he might be
sus
because he's a murderer. He's a murderer. Charles was at the party, was he? Because he came in from another room. He could have acted like he was at the party, slipped out real quick, murked it, and then bounced back into the party before anybody noticed he was gone. And you want to put it like that, how would anybody be able to set up a kill shot on Saz? Nobody knew that it was supposed to be
Nobody knew she was gonna go up there.
Yeah, Charles was the only one that knew she was going up there. And somehow Charles switched it because Charles was going to go get the wine. And Charles somehow switched it and had her go get it instead. So nobody except Charles would have even known that Saz was going upstairs. So how do we know that Charles ain't the murderer in this whole damn thing?
Yo, honestly,
we need to time him. We need to time his runtime.
What's up, LKC? I see ya. What's up?
I think we gotta go back to season 1. I think Charles was possibly close on figuring out who the murderer was. Well, this one, but then it turned out to be Jen. So I think that's why the murderer, way back in season 1, specifically went after Charles because he was of the three, he was like the closest one.
Or him and Jen just connected and got together because they're both murdering personalities, and that's what they had together. So
yeah, they're both weird.
But what comes to her, like she hates murderers who don't like do the murder up close.
Fair enough.
I'm telling you.
I'll give you that.
What'd you say, Phantom?
She doesn't like murderers who like don't kill up and close. This was like in a distance and poison. Right. So that's not her thing.
Charles could have went up and murked somebody upstairs. Like she could have murked her up close and personal. Like, yeah, they said they saw the glass on the inside of the window, so they thought the shot came in. But I mean, there's been broken glass where glass went in and out on both sides. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe it wasn't a full-on bullet that did it. Maybe it was something else that shot out once Charles got him. But I don't think so. But I'm just saying, craziness is about. And again, I agree, stuntmen are being taken out. Like, and who's to say actors won't be next? Like, again, this goes back to what I said last week. Like, why did Saz get taken out, and then they tried to take out Glenn Stubbins? Like, whoever's Mabel's stuntman better watch out next week. This is Hollywood. Special effects are an everyday thing. Like, I can't believe a rifle shot, especially if it was the same 300 caliber, that big ass bullet that was used to kill Saz from far away, would just come through and bounce off somebody's head. Like, metal plate or not, like, I just think that whole scene might have been staged.
Could go either way.
I mean, a big ass bullet just bouncing off, and not
only
do
we know what did they say what caliber it was?
No, they didn't. They never talked about that bullet. But this bullet not only bounced off his head and didn't penetrate the brain, but bounced off the head so hard that it shot Zach in his fat. Like, come on, this is just
them. Have you ever talked to anybody that has metal plating in? The few, very, very few people that I know that have, they were from like the old war times, and them things are pretty damn sturdy.
I don't know. That's insane. And like I said, to bounce off and ricochet hard enough to go through Zach's fat and pierce him and send him to the hospital, I'm not buying it. I just think that this is Hollywood. That whole thing was staged. But now back to the actors just showing up out of nowhere and Zach saying like he broke out of the hospital. Like, did he do that because Bev threatened him and he's obviously like, and rightfully so, terrified of her? Like, why would he break out of the hospital to come back to a movie he really wants nothing to do with?
Wait, who was that did that?
Zach Galifianakis. He broke out of the hospital.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, honestly, all three of them are sus. Who knows what they got
say
going on
that he was going to be sued if he doesn't do it?
Probably. No? I don't know, but I know he is terrified of this crazy nut job, as well he should be. But again, 3 murder boards, 3 different murders, 3 different reasons, in my opinion. That's where I'm at with that. But yeah, and again, like, what was that woman even doing in the dark with a gun at Saz's spot? Like, she turned on the lights as soon as the 3 of them showed up. So she somehow knew that the lights were there. Had she literally just killed someone and was fighting there, like maybe they were like on the other side of that little thing she was standing behind and they were fighting with her last breath and she didn't want like the trio to hear it. So that's why she fired off all those bullets. Like, so maybe their ears would be ringing and it'd be loud and they wouldn't hear like this, whoever she just murked, like last breath coming out.
Maybe.
It just made no sense. Why is she standing there in the dark with a gun? That makes no sense to me. Maybe it's in the contract. But yeah, I'm just like, why? Yeah, that made. And then why did she fire those bullets like that? It's almost like to make noise so they didn't hear the person she just killed, like their last kicks of desperation making noise. That's how I'm kind of taking that. Dude, Bev is out there on one. This woman's crazy. Why is she even in here? There's something going on with this woman. And yeah, again, why did
she was the first one to show up, so that's why she's still high on my sus list.
Yeah. So Oliver's pouring his heart out, and Doreen is taking it in all the wrong ways. And luckily, he gets saved by the bell when the doorbell rings. And yeah, this may be the suburbs of New York, but did Loretta really just let herself in? Like, you did not just walk right into this stranger's home. Even just like she even said something like, "Oh, just let yourself in." Like, she didn't even know if Oliver was there. What was that about?
Was anybody outside when she?
What's that?
Was anybody outside when she got there?
No, she just walked in. She rang the doorbell. That's why Oliver was like, somebody should get that before we have to hear it again, which is funny enough. Like, I didn't even notice. It was the Giant Tamer that pointed out the chime on the doorbell. That was an actual song. Like, just the little tie-ins in this show are amazing. But yeah,
how do we know that somebody didn't answer the door though?
No,
because there's still other people in the house.
Melissa actually said
in some suburbs.
What's that?
Community. Some suburbs, gated community. People like literally leave the door open.
Yeah, well, this was obviously open because she just let herself.
This is Long Island. I don't think they were in a gated community. Not with her husband being a cop. His salary.
I mean, that could be another reason why
unless he's on the take, maybe.
Because even my landlords, because they're there with the police department, they be leaving like the front door and thing open, and I'm like, what the hell?
That is absurd.
Yeah. But I mean, Melissa, like I said, she actually stated, she's like, "Oh, just let yourself in." Like, she made mention of it. So yeah, what is it with the people this season just walking right into people's apartments, not being let in? Like, the actors just walked in, Loretta's just walked. It's all actors, just like,
well, I mean, I think she could have just said that because she would figure maybe nobody would answer the door, but she's not used to these extracurricular ass Hollywood people. Because it doesn't look like either one of them could actually see the door from where they were on the couch.
I know you two are way too young. No way you noticed the song that was playing, right? On the doorbell chime or what it was.
I thought it was Charles' song, so I guess not.
What was it?
It was Billy Joel's Scenes of Italian Restaurant or whatever. Scenes of an Italian Restaurant.
I know Billy Joel, but I don't know that one.
Yeah. And I mean, they're in Long Island, Billy Joel's home spot. So just a little nod, like I said, the little ticks and intricacies are just amazing. But yeah, it was the Billy Joel bringing it in. Oh no, why did that stop? Oh, door staying locked. It does happen in the suburbs. Yeah, but I don't know. There's just too many people walking into people's homes in this one. But yeah, people have been just walking in, letting themselves in. That's crazy. Oh, where did we go? But Oliver's pouring his heart out when he comes in. Like, what? I don't know. That was kind of a funny thing, him watching those two being on top of each other like Mr. Putnam. But
Mr. Putnam.
did anyone catch that that little misdirect? Like there was a pause. Oliver was about to ask, like, how did you find us? Like he was sitting there going, when him and Loretta were talking, he's like, how did you find us? But instead of letting her answer, he just quickly answered himself, Howard. Did you notice that?
What do you mean?
When Loretta got there and him and her Oliver were sitting there talking, and he's like, how did you find us? Because she's like, I tried calling you, you never answered, because obviously Mabel took everybody's phones and took them away. So
Yeah.
she for the call. But he's like, how did you find us? And then before he could answer, like, yeah, how did you find him? He goes, oh, Howard. It must have been Howard. We don't know it was Howard that told her. How do we know she's not the one that has the cameras up? And this, we thought she was a murderer early on, and then all of a sudden we went out. Is there any way she's a murderer? Did she do all this? Because the big
seems
one
really
coming,
crazy. So I don't know.
the big one I got coming this episode has everything to do with Loretta. So be ready. I'm just saying. But so yeah, I don't know. That was just kind of crazy. Like Oliver said that, like, oh, it must have been Howard. He should have let her answer, because I don't think Howard told her. I think she already knew somehow. But how? Because even if she had cameras, they left. When they got in that cab, they didn't even know where they were going. So how did she figure it out if it wasn't Howard? Because I don't think it was Howard who told her. Like, just how big a tab does she have on this crew? But we don't know that. How was she able to find him? The pig may be a clue. I think the pig is the clue that is going to end up tying all things together. And when I think pig, I think of Loretta, because like I said, when they were on that date, she called Ben. Yeah. Like I said, I think I may have called it with the scratched out picture in Vince's apartment. She used to be one of the weirdos, maybe even romantically involved with like Vince Fish. She is the character most associated with pigs, and most people forget. Like I was about to say, she called Ben a fucking pig last season. She told Oliver she had auditioned for multiple pig parts. She even had her own little pig voices that she was working on. And speaking of voices, like, was I right on thinking that maybe the voice on the other end of that ham radio was hers? Because remember, the first time we meet her, when she was auditioning, she's trying out multiple accents and talking in all these different weird voices. This show is giving us a bunch of pieces that look weird, but later on, we like, oh my God, that was a clue. And I'm thinking that's exactly that was. She was trying out those multiple accents, letting us know later on she's going to be using one to fake us out. And that's why maybe that apartment is so outdated. Loretta is the last one to live there, and they're keeping her pet pig there in her name or something. I don't know.
That just put some wild tinfoil in my brain.
I'm telling you, here we go. And we're not even started. I'm just warming up. I got some things to say about Loretta. We're going to get there. But yeah, whoa, they blew my mind this episode, and I can't believe nobody's talking about it. So yeah, we're going to get into some things. I saw Billy Joel at Dodger Stadium. Get it? Were you singing Piano Man word for word with him? On the closed captions, just didn't recognize it. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, the closed captions is what let it be known. That's how Giant Tamer knew it too. I just missed all that somehow. Oh, Oliver never locked the door, and his people were literally being murdered in the building. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Hammy Faye Baker in the house. I mean, she belonged to somebody. That pig was not living in that apartment alone. So yeah, I mean, there's some shit going on with Loretta, and we're about to break it down. But yeah, is this not crazy to either one of you?
I don't know if it stands out that much for me, but yeah, I don't want to go off on the tinfoil tangent. So go ahead and finish. I'll save it for the end.
Also,
in terms of like any relationship with all the trio, like it never ends well. So wouldn't surprise me.
Also, one of the names on the naughty list on Rudy's incredibly fit torso was Ben. So what if Loretta is Greta and Rudy's old girlfriend, and it was Rudy who took the shot aiming for Charles, but took out Saz instead?
Highly possible.
We find out Loretta's Greta, and that's actually Rudy's ex-girlfriend. I think she was definitely one of the Westies and living there, and this is all going to tie in. Absolutely. Loretta said she almost auditioned for Oliver multiple times, but something had always come up. This is last year when they were in the on their date together on that ferry boat.
Yeah.
And she's like, the dress got caught in a subway door. There's just all these different excuses, like what happened. And nobody's that unlucky. So what if she was lying about all that? Like, what if Oliver highly offended Loretta and maybe even Vince Fish, like back in the day, and he was, because he was like half a big shot on Broadway, and if he said something like they didn't have what it takes, or they had like maybe, or what it really could have been is like, what if they had loved ones that died in his epic failure Splash, and now like they're going like basically on a hell-bent mission to take away everything that he has. Like maybe he was the target that somehow that bullet hit Zach Galifianakis and Glenn, but it was actually supposed to be him, or they're just messing with him and taking out everything in his life. Like, I don't know, but I think there's definitely
why do that now? I mean, he doesn't even have that much going on in the grand scheme of things. So why go after him and try to strip anything away from him now? He barely has a career outside of this podcast and another failed play. He has been divorced for years. Him and his son are estranged. I mean, that there's not a whole lot more you could really do to Oliver. So that just that doesn't seem like a good motive.
We shall see, but something tells me like all this is going to tie back in. Loretta didn't drag the body to the basement. This show's been extremely fluent in telling us that there's two people in all these. So it wouldn't be Loretta dragging the body to the basement. She might have done the murdering, set up the murdering, but had somebody stronger. Maybe she's together with your boy Tolbert, and we don't even see him yet. She had Tolbert drag him down there. We don't know.
Why you keep trying to bring Tolbert into this message, man?
That was just
Tolbert don't want your shenanigans, bro.
That was just for Jake. Oh, I'm not going to spoil anything, but saw a preview that may answer the mystery Westy radio person, and it's not anyone we know currently. Ooh, bada boom. Ooh, I also thought that maybe it was a perfect stranger situation and one of the cousins from Bulgaria. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's like Vince's cousin that lives over there, and that's where he got the flag and the meat from. Because I was just thinking like he was setting that up, and he was just getting that meat from the bodega and was just acting like it was coming, getting shipped in, and he was just getting it from there. But I don't know. Maybe there is like a cousin out there that's really sending this stuff over. We shall see. Somebody wanted the podcast shut down since season 1. Yeah, they've been trying to get this thing shut down from Jump Street. So could have been these guys murking people in there. Loretta and Oliver sit down, and it didn't take long to work out the misunderstanding and work out what happened. And just like we saw on the second watch through, the PA had not only walked the phone up to the one who couldn't talk, but it wasn't even her. It was her stand-in. But as insistent as she was, like in having Oliver repeat what he said, that stand-in must have relayed the message like verbatim, saying how sweet it was and adorable. Because Loretta was very adamant about, what'd you say? What'd you like? She wanted to hear exactly what was said, how it was said. Like that must have been a thing. But yeah, it was good to see. So it was all that. The PA did go up with the phone and tell him, and it was just all been misunderstanding because they couldn't tell. Sweet nothing, like she came here to kill this man is what I'm thinking. Loretta came to kill freaking Oliver. Like talking about you thought you could break up with me in a text? Like, oh hell no. But then lucky for him, he showed that he was still gaga over for it. So she's gonna let him live for now. But I don't know. What's going on with Loretta? Is she really just a sweet little woman in love with Oliver, or is there something more devious happening, fandom?
I'm not sure. Because there were certain points in this episode I'm like, is that something like sitting there, or is that a doll?
Right. So creepy.
I don't know. Because okay, the murder could have been like sitting there and no one would have known.
It would have just been a murder in the house. That would have been amazing. I was kind of looking for that to see if one of them would move, but yeah, it never did.
Because like there's times like you literally can see over their shoulders. There's like literally a doll either sitting in a corner or there's there, and I'm just like, it would be hilarious if we get a flashback and the murderer was like right there sitting disguised.
There's probably some cameras in those dolls.
Oh, probably. Absolutely. We'll find that out later. Upstairs, that was kind of a sad little moment. Little sis is actually pouring her heart out to one of her first fond memories over Charles, and he's just too busy nailing the nails into windows shut. And I don't know, like, I like that she's like screamed at him, like, listen up, Charles. I'm sitting there pouring my heart out to you. You're not even listening. Is that just showing that he is just a psychopath or sociopath and has no feelings?
That's just a sibling thing, because sometimes my brother does that, and I'll just be like into whatever, and he's like, David, pay attention. I'm like, oh, is that serious this time?
It shows that he's extremely distracted because he's in fear of his life. I mean, it could be an act, but if he's not the murderer, I think that he's acting quite appropriately to the situation. And
Yeah,
she is also all levels of extra, so I'm not gonna give her a pass just because she wants to talk about feelings all the time.
I think the murderer might have been in that class too. And I was trying to look and pause and like see the people in the class. And the only one that looks kind of recognizable is the dad Westy. I think I see him in that class, but I need to go back and like scan a little better. But
We
yeah,
could very easily have
I think
missed somebody in that class because not everyone was in the main auditorium. In that auditorium, there was if I'm remembering correctly, there was like a control space that was further up. So there could have easily been some people up there.
I just even think like some of the people, like one guy stood up and walked out real quick. I think that might have been Vince Fish. I need to go back and pause it on him. Like I think there's definitely some lefties and some people in that class that we didn't notice that they just tried to sneak in the background.
Yeah, someone was definitely jealous of the attention that Dudenoff was giving those girls. So yeah, I think
100%.
it stemmed from there.
I'm with you. Okay. Like I said, I think 3 different murder boards, 3 different murders, not connected. And yeah, I think the Westies are definitely in on the murder or the Dudenoff death with the scam, but have nothing to do with Saz's murder. I think that's totally unconnected. And I believe we're going to get a third murder, 3 murder boards. I believe we'll have a third murder this season, and we just haven't seen it yet. Oh, but yeah, she lets loose a whole slew of emotions on her big brother and reiterates that doesn't make her crazy. And there's a tiny little man downstairs that's ready to appreciate a woman with a nice big set of emotions. I was just Kathy.
That man doesn't exist.
Even if that man did exist, you're married, bitch. What? Who do you think is supposed to be rooting for you right now?
Episode, because here I'm thinking, okay, maybe her husband's cheating or just promiscuous. Kind of look at these scooter chicks, but here you are over Oliver.
No, exactly. She is the one out here on the nonsense.
Oh, my take is the Westies are involved. Oh yeah, exactly.
Talking about her vodka and Crystal Light. Get out of here with that nuts.
Yep. No, yeah, absolutely, 100%. But we like. I mean, Charles tried to explain this woman, but as I said, there are no words. Like she's just crazy. Like kicking her husband. And that's why the husband just was like so blasé about it. He's like, yeah, it's an everyday thing. Like he's just used to it.
Right, homie is living on a freaking boat
in the
driveway, and it's not even like one of the really nice boats.
No, it was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Downstairs, the actors are bored, and at first Mabel can't be bothered with them, but Loretta talks her into giving them a chance. But what is it about this show? Like, what is this show putting in our face that we're not seeing? Like, the clue in the opening credits were pigtails. Loretta grabbed her pigtails on the couch while talking to Oliver. Like, Vince has a picture of a woman with pigtails with her face scratched off. And Eugene Levy, who's shown great recall and exceptional intelligence, can't recall Loretta's face when she said that they had done the summer stock together. Like, did she look that different back then? I'm thinking so.
I mean, there is a possibility. There's a possibility. I mean, if you look at a picture of Cher, like we could all tell you what she looked like, but if you look at a picture of her from like the early 70s, pre all of the extra, she looks like a whole ass different person.
Yeah, well, I'm with it. I think it's 100% that, and we're going to talk about some things. Let me just say that. But then, because they solidified it a few scenes later, and I was like, "Holy shit!" And I haven't heard anybody talking about it. I'm like, "What? That's so good." But yeah, that was also so good when Loretta was like introducing herself to everyone, and Eva stands up and said, "No one's complimented me yet," and Loretta just turns and keeps it moving. I was dying.
Like do you talk about a freaking diva?
Oh, she sat her ass back down real quick and started eating. I was like, that was so good. Oh, speaking of again, why was Bev Mellon there? Like, her scenes are beyond ridiculous. My guess is that she is like related to Vince. She told him that she needs money to sink into her next big hit, or she's basically going to be out of Hollywood. He used the money that he's scamming from the Arconia. Like, I'm thinking maybe their brother, sister, or something like that. He uses the money he's scamming from the Arconia, maybe even lets all the other Westies in on it, telling them that, hey, you know, we'll give you all producer credits and, you know, we're going to make you big Hollywood something or others. And then when Bev got the call from Saz, they all panicked because Saz is like, you got a big problem with their movie. They have their entire net worth invested in this film. That's why Bev's so hell-bent on making the film happen no matter what. Like, it has to be a success or she's through. Like, I don't know. You think there might be anything to that? Like, they're all tied in, and that's why the Westies are out. That's how they're coming in. Like, maybe they use that money to finance this film, so the film has to happen no matter what. Like, I don't know. What do you think?
Highly possible.
Yeah, I could see that. Maybe that she found out the Westies. I don't think the Westies killed Dudanoff. I think the Westies possibly just like came upon the body and then burned it, so they don't have to like pay high rent.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like
because the deal was already in place.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have had anything to worry about unless his death was discovered. So that I think they covered up. I really don't see a reason for them yet why they would actually kill him, because they were all getting a pretty sweet deal.
Unless DJ was right and it was the daughter that killed him.
I feel it. Could be. But yeah, I don't know. I think everybody's pretty much on that page. The Westies, they might not even kill Dudanoff. They're just trying to keep him alive, Weekend at Bernie style, so they can all keep their cheap rent.
They trying to keep cheap rent. And look, I know rental prices everywhere is messed up, but especially in New York. I don't blame them.
I get it. Back in New York, Howard gets to the bodega and is able to bribe his way into looking at the books by promising the store owner and his pet attack cat a spot on the new, upcoming, soon-to-be #1 podcast. So, of course, it worked flawlessly. Like, what is it with cat people?
Hey. Don't come for us now.
I was just like, this guy.
You got a guard cat at the house, too?
No, I wish I had a cat. I used to have one when I was younger.
Oh, man.
And look at my TikToks, boom, it's like cats, different days.
Oh, he sees the Dudanoff signatures, and they're all in different handwriting. And when he looks at the camera footage, he sees it's all the different, like, Westies cashing the checks. So this is cracking the code. And then back on Long Island, we get another obvious nod to the pigtails as Doreen is now supporting them and yanks on Heidi's, a.k.a. Loretta. Yeah, I get it. She's the one in the picture. Like, I think they're just showing us 100% that Loretta is the one in this picture that's scratched out. Am I just overthinking that? Or, I mean, it just seems so in my face, but it could just be because I was down that path already.
Or it can be the director.
I mean,
wasn't it SNL? Didn't she play a character that had pigtails? Or am I bugging?
Who's that?
The director. Wasn't she like played on SNL?
She was. Yeah, she did that.
Yeah, a character with pigtails, if I'm not mistaken.
Did Molly
remember
pigtails in her character on SNL? Can't remember. Yeah, I think she might have, though. Yeah, the glasses and the pigtails. I think you're right. Giant Tamer actually has a refrigerator magnet of that character. I never lived with an animal. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, when Oliver let it slip that he was Loretta's Instagram friend, Ronnie, I was like, dog,
bro,
no one does.
I knew it would be bad if he slipped up and said that. Like, bro, come on. How could you not see this as a problem? You trying to give her your best glaze over the situation. No, dude, she thought she had a friend. And you totally just blew that up in her brain. Which, honestly, if she is the murderer, that just gives her more reason to kill you. And yeah, if y'all get married, she has much easier access to you. So there you go. Take the plunge.
I'm Mary Catherine Gallagher, and I'm your superstar. Absolutely. Smelling the armpit. But yeah, that was just, I don't know. I was just like, dude, it's probably better that he actually got it out, better now than later. But my guy, like, just know when does this?
Seriously, like, know when to stop, bro.
And if that isn't enough for Loretta to deal with, Doreen comes in with what seemed to be an attempt at an apology, but ends up throwing bows. Like, I was like, you did not just throw that woman over a couch. Like, are you kidding me? It had
over a man that does not want you. And again, your husband is sleeping outside on the boat.
So crazy. I was lying. That was too good. Like, I don't know, watching Hollywood royalty just duke it out on the couch like that. Like, that was
I
great.
mean, she did whip her ass though, bro. That I saw that belt go up against her head a few times.
That was pretty good. But then I see why this scene was so truly needed. And let's just get to the meat and potatoes of this, what nobody else is talking about. You're only going to get right here on the Review with the Crew. It took this scene for Eugene Levy to finally recognize Loretta. And
Bro.
he could not do that until he saw the hair from Doreen's wig covering her face. Ladies and gentlemen,
which is absurd.
Loretta used to be a man. 100%. Either used to be your man or used to act as a man, but 100%. Eugene Levy, who has all the recall in the world, super intelligent, remembers all the Bravo scenes and all the stuff that Bravos did when he was researching him. Crazy intelligent recall, but could not remember Loretta's face. Like in a couple of times, like, no, not ringing a bell. Not ringing a bell.
If that's the case, then I'm going to I'm gonna say that she acted very strangely in that meeting.
What meeting?
Because in the meeting where she's trying to make him remember, if she was a man during that time, why would she think that he would recognize her?
I don't know, but yeah, she should have definitely
that doesn't make sense. I mean, it would be a ridiculous cool twist if they could spin it the right way, but I don't
Saying she had
see
like a
how
sex
that
change
would.
or something. I'm not confused here.
He's saying that she's trans, and
she had two sex change then because she gave birth like ages ago.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I don't get. It's like that's the only.
Maybe she acted as a man to get a role. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, it had maybe that was. But I don't know. That just
I don't know. That doesn't seem to fit. I mean, and at what point in time would she have done that? Like, how long ago would that have been? Because she was still a woman in the picture, or at least from what we saw, there were boobs in that picture. So
that was
I don't know. That just
years ago. That was literally over 40. That was 42 years ago. That he.
I don't see how that would work out with the information that we've been given. It doesn't make sense.
But why? So why did he only recognize her when she had like basically a mustache? And then the fact that fandom told me Charles had a mustache in the opening credit that I missed, I was like, oh my god, that does tie it all in. Why did he not recognize her until she had facial hair?
Because she's not done anything of note since that time that he met her. It was one time on that one show from far back in his career. It wasn't some huge big production.
It was though. It was Summer Stock. It was a huge deal, especially.
Okay, what was her role there?
Her role was
because wait, what did she have a role? Because she said that she auditioned.
That might even be a question later. I don't know.
So I don't know. The fact that she recognized him and expected him to recognize her, I think that clears that point pretty clearly. I don't see what the use of that would have been if she was a man back then.
You don't see. Oh, just
it just doesn't fit in the blueprints for me.
I just don't know why they would put all that. Why did he not recognize her until she had a mustache and facial hair? And why is Charles wearing a mustache in the opening credits? Like, this is a huge clue that they just swept over. Like, you weren't really supposed to notice it unless you were really looking. Like, what are they trying to tell us with that then?
How would she have had a baby?
That's what I don't know. I don't, like I said, was she a woman?
That 100% solidly says if she was trans, she would not have a child.
Or is she lying about? Yeah, I don't know. She's definitely lying about something, but I don't know what it is.
She may be lying about about any number of things, but I don't think that is one of them.
Well, she was lying about maybe
her character with Eugene Levy was Holly Goodhead.
Yes,
there you go.
Absolutely, from the movie. What? Yep. So yeah, she wasn't. I mean, they gave her down the movie. They're what it was. If I of course had to go back and Google Holly Goodhead. She was a player playing a character that wasn't what she seemed. She was in a masked hideout, so she wasn't who she was portraying. Who she was. So yeah, there's some shit going on here. Eugene didn't remember her because she was just a rando actress. I don't know. He has such great recall with all the Bravo stuff and like the one-liners and.
Well, that's something that he's a fan of, though.
Is he?
You ask me about any random episode on Star Trek: The Next Generation or any episode of Stargate, I can probably tell you exactly what happened. And those shows have been done for years. Ask me about the little boy that sat next to me in second grade. I couldn't tell you shit.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm sticking to it. I don't think there's any way that they should make this big a deal about it, show it. And especially if I go back and look that Charles has a mustache in the thing, I'm like, oh, 100% it's on.
Right. I'm with Jake. I don't remember some people I met just a few months ago either.
Right. But you're not UG Levy.
Unless I have a reason to keep them in my memory.
They have shown us what great recall this man has, though. Like just the random little facts about what he'd remembered, like going back watching all the Bravo shows on every season, every episode.
Because he's a super fan. He wasn't a super fan of her.
No, but that was a good summer stock would be a pretty big deal that most people would remember. And yeah, I don't know. It could be. You're right. I mean, it could be just he didn't remember because she was nobody to him. But I don't know. I think that's them. I think they just dropped a huge nugget in our laps that everybody's ignoring. And I'm not going to be one to ignore it. I saw it. I remember it. And when it comes down, I'll be like, told you. Watch. It's coming. No way they made that.
Somebody please put that in a notebook. So come the finale, we can do the fact checks, please.
That's right. Exactly. There's no way. Yeah, I'm 100% with that one. I will die on this hill. Loretta fakes a malfunctioning pacemaker and gets away with it, and then shows the moves that she learned from Sensei Brian and kicks Doreen right in the mouth. Like, it was so good. Oh, and then we have Mabel saying, I should get in there and break it up. And Eva's like, Doreen, you need to like bridge and get the chokehold. So they finally come to their senses, and Charles has a much needed sit down with his sister. And you'd think after all this, like, you think he's really going to end up spending a little more time with her fandom?
Maybe they get married successfully, but with this show and track record I said earlier, I don't think it happening.
Oh, that's good. I don't know. I hope they spend more time together. It actually works out, but yeah, I don't know. What if we find out that she's a psycho killer and her husband are doing everything? What? So in one more time, what is the purpose of Bev being there? Like she said, I just had a great nap, and then said like I was on the phone yelling at the studio heads for the last 2 hours. So which is it? Were you sleeping or you've been yelling at the studio heads for the last 2 hours? Like I just don't know. What is the point of Bev in this series right now?
I don't understand why she was there.
Yeah. Is she just comic relief?
She could have handled whatever she had to handle on the phone.
Well, no, she couldn't because she couldn't get a hold of him. She said she's been trying to call him for days. Remember, Mabel took everybody's phone and put it in.
But why show up with a suitcase, though?
Yeah. And then Charles,
like she's a top executive. She could have had a driver just drive her out there. Oh, hey, you're here. Here's a question. Did they do it or not? No? Okay. I'm back in the car. I'm going back home. Why stay there?
She says the movie is back to full steam ahead, and Charles' sister was like, who the fuck was that woman? And I love like how her home has just completely become a full and open house. Like what?
That's what I'm saying. She doesn't know when anyone is even walking in or out of the door anymore. And where the fuck was Bev? Sleep. Where did you find to sleep? In that house where nobody saw you.
Yeah, I mean, just some crazy. Is a link, the fake mustache, facial hair isn't about Loretta, but Marshall. It's a hint about the real killer being fake. There you go. That's a good tie-in too. I was kind of thinking that, but I was thinking it the reverse way. I was thinking Marshall and his fake hair were going to let us know about Loretta being switching over. But yeah, I just could not get past the Dickie thing. Like if that's really her son, like that's impossible. So how are they going to tie all that in together? But yeah, I thought that too.
That type of emotion.
Yeah, I just flipped it the other way. I was thinking that the Marshall was a nod to the Loretta thing. Bev is funny, but what the hell is her purpose in this series? I just don't get it. Upstairs, Oliver and Loretta have another little chat, and she told him she knew he was nuts from Jump Street, then proposes to him with a doll's bracelet, reminding us that she's every bit as wacko as he is. So will we actually see these two like tie the knot before the end of the series, AK? Before we find out who's the murderer?
If everything is on the up and up, then I could see them being very happy together. However, if she is the killer, like I said earlier, she's doing this just because she's about done with playing all the games and whatnots. And if that's her husband, she knows exactly where to go to find him and know exactly how to cover it up. So she can just do it done quick, skirt out the door.
Feel it. Love how he said, "Just one thing. Do you come from family money?"
From
I was
family
like,
money.
Hmm.
Hey, Oliver, go sit down, young man. Just go fucking sit down.
I was like, he is not joking.
No, he's not. No, and that's what makes it so funny. He is 100% sincere. Seriously.
But that was another funny little nod to real life, knowing that, like, obviously Meryl Streep's family is uber rich and comes from old money. Like, they're very rich.
Oh,
and I heard
100%.
I heard on some little thing that was actually they were ad-libbing right there, and that wasn't even written in. So basically, Oliver just did that to make her laugh out loud because in real life, obviously, she comes from real money, like her family. So that was a cool little nod to find out. So that was pretty cool. The next morning, the actors wake everyone by banging on pots and pans, and Doreen is not happy. She shouts out that she has a hangover. Shout out to the second highest grossing comedy of all time. Like, just had to get that hangover comment in there. I love that.
I don't understand how they didn't get things thrown at their heads.
Oh, yeah, right? Like, you are not banging these pots this early in the morning.
In my fucking house?
We just had to get a hangover comment in there. So that's what that was for. That was pretty great.
Yeah.
But they break down the timeline on the wall, which is bigger than the trio's board, which makes it better. Just ask Eva. And they bring up some obvious plot holes from season 1. And, actors, there are so many more. Like, believe me, we can go back and show a lot more plot holes than that. Believe. But I'm thinking, I'm definitely going to have to go back and do a rewatch, like knowing what I know now, and then see if we can't put all this together before the next season even starts. Because I think a lot of it's on the table and ready to be found out. But while seeing what the actors put together, Charles notices Oliver is much giddier than normal. Instead of gloomy Gus, he's downright glowing. He lets them all know this bitch is getting married. Like, I don't know. Is it really going to happen, fandom? Will they get married or something happen? Nope. Something bad in the works is already going to go.
Of course, man. It happens every season. Maple, how many times she hooked up with someone that fails? Charles, the very first season, that didn't even freaking pan out. Girl turned out to be the freaking murderer. And now with Charles. We had hope with Meryl Streep last season. This season, I don't know. The moment he proposed, that's the end.
Okay, here's a random thing. And it's not even really any clue from the show, but the ridiculous wide smile that Oliver had there, it reminded me immediately of when he was playing Jack Frost in the Santa Claus. So again, are you over here plotting and you're this giddy because it's all coming together now?
Could be. I don't know. I'm more, if it ends up being one of these crew, like maybe by the end of this series, like the last season might be called Only Murderers in the Building, because they might all be murking people.
Only murderers?
Only murderers in the building. We're gonna find out they all killing people, because they're murking people left and right. And like I said, the thing that's really killing me is if Saz really was the one who wanted to be murdered, the only one who could have set that up is Charles, because Charles was going up to get that bottle. And Charles is the only one who would have known it was a switch and it was Saz going up to get it, not him.
So he did tell us how he did it.
Well, no.
Within those, was it 9 minutes, 8 minutes?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know what other hidden cameras or sound recording devices are hidden there. To us, it may look like Charles was the only one that knew.
Oh, that's true.
Was headed up there.
That's true. With all the devices, somebody else might have saw it and said, "Okay, we're doing a switch up. Go get her." Yeah, I like that. Absolutely. Oh, they're gonna have a red wedding episode. I feel it. Everybody murking everybody.
That'd be hilarious.
We end with the crew sitting on a boat when Big Mike comes strolling home with donuts and tells them their friend Howard has been trying to get a hold of them, and he says he knows who killed Dunov. Okay, first of all, this isn't the kind of information would you not deliver this kind of information immediately? You just come.
It's not like he don't know where they are.
I mean, come on, like that's insane. Like, oh yeah, just gonna come in lately. Like, are you the murderer? Like, what is that? And second, Yeah, how did Howard end up getting a cop's number and getting a hold of him? He even said, I don't know how he got my number, but he called. Yeah, how did he get your number? You're a cop. That's not an easy number to
And that's
get.
what I'm saying. I feel like you need to be a little more worried about that, sir.
Yeah, telling me Howard's not the murderer. Stop it. Stop it. Kidding me? This man's getting cops' numbers. He is on top of everything at all times. But yeah, but he tells them that it wasn't one person cashing the dude off checks. There were 5 different people. And of course, when he watches the camera back, he sees all 5 of the Westies cashing checks at different times. So that one's cracked. And he calls the number and finds out it's none other than Vince Fish who answered the phone as Milton Dudenoff. He didn't say anything, just hangs up. So Vince knows and turns to the rest of the Westies and says, they know.
He didn't say anything, but he said enough.
Exactly.
Because Howard is all of the drama. So that very that super gasp that he put on and then hanging up, like, bro, come on. You're supposed to be a professional.
Oh man, absolutely incredible. And then when the credits start to roll, I see a cashier's check made out for over $2,500, which makes a hell of a lot more sense for one of those apartments in the Arconia than the little $200 they're talking. So
even that is low.
Exactly.
That's hella low.
Maybe for just like with a cheap basic or something, but it got stuck in rent control a long time because it could be rent controlled from a while back, and it could be rent controlled 25.
Actually, yeah, that is also a very good point because I mean, there's not a whole lot of those buildings or apartments left in New York, but if anyone were there, it would be the Westies would have been in on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something to consider.
Definitely made a lot more sense to me. So I like that. I think that's the reason that they showed that. Like, okay, these are the checks, not 200.
Actually, chances are the only rent controlled apartments that are left in the building are all of theirs, I bet.
Oh, I'm sure. But all in all, what do we think of this episode, AK?
Oh, I had so much fun with this. Like there's so many different aspects that you could look at this from now. So I'm gonna give it clean let's say like 9.25 motorboaters.
Get it. So
and
good.
Yeah, Sam, I'm looking forward to what's next.
Absolutely. How do we feel about this one, Phantom?
Yeah, I loved it, especially Melissa McCartney's character. Like, oh my gosh, she was a trip. Invite her back and invite her back.
Yeah, I mean, you knew
it's not all over Oliver.
As soon as you saw her name in the credit, you knew it was going to be on. Like, she is an amazing actress. I absolutely love her, and I was here for it. Oh, man. But, yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. As usual, we got just a couple trivia questions. Actually, got a whole bunch. We'll see what happens. We're going to try to
I wrote no notes for this episode. I had a long day. I was tired.
We shall see what everybody remembers. We got quite a few. We're going to start rolling through. If you know these answers, put them in the chat box. If you're watching later, put them in the comment section down below. Let's get it started. How many exclamation points did Oliver use in his breakup to Loretta?
12.
I like the fact that they finally brought up answers. Yeah, exactly. That's a great one. I'm glad they talked about Who Poisoned Winnie too. And like I said, there's so many more plot holes. There's so many more we can go in, and we'll be bringing them all back up when we go back through this watch through. About 100%. John Haymaker and Fandom are absolutely correct. 12. Well done. Kind of a trick question, but absolutely perfect. What letter do all Charles's nieces' names start with?
E.
What'd you say?
E.
E is incorrect.
No, it's not E. A D?
I just wanted to let somebody else get in there. Absolutely. AK and LK, absolutely correct. D is correct. They all start with the letter D. Where did Charles' sisters live? Where did Charles' sister live?
Long Island.
Where?
Nah, I don't remember that specific.
They never even really said Long Island. They said this other spot. Anybody remember where they live?
Whoever was doing the voiceover when they were talking about it, they said Long Island.
Pretty good. Oh, where did Charles' sister live? Anybody remember? Put that down in the comment section down below. What county was it in? You remember that? Anybody know what county? Where do they live and what county? What did
Westchester?
That is incorrect. Sorry, not close. Yeah, kind of. That's a good guess at a name, but incorrect. What school did Dina and Danielle attend? What school did the daughters attend? Anybody remember what school they went to?
I want to say some. I want not. You're saying the special school isn't the right word.
I wonder will we get them next season.
If they come in, I don't know.
How old are they?
Suffolk. Yep, Suffolk's absolutely correct, Jake. That's not how you spell it, but we're gonna give it to you. It was Suffolk county they're in. Oh, and Jake bringing it back. It was DeVry. All their names start with a D, and they went to the DeVry school. Just the tie-ins.
Oh, the Tech Institute. Okay.
What is Charles's youngest niece name? What's the youngest name?
I'm probably misremembering it, but it's Danielle.
Danielle went to DeVry, but she's not the youngest.
No. Okay. I only remember that because I saw her name on the wall.
Absolutely correct. Hey, LK bringing it home. Well done. Well done. Jake knew it too. Bada boom, bada bing. Keeping it moving. What was Charles's sister's name?
Melissa McCartney.
And what was her character name?
Sophie, Lily, something that ends with like a E. I don't remember.
Oh, shit. You already know. I specifically didn't say it too many times during the show to see if you'd remember, but Jake brought it home as usual. Doreen, absolutely correct. Why did she kick her husband to the boat?
Because he was going to the ass version of Hooters too much.
What is the blanket saying again?
Cans?
Yeah. And Mabel was like, I'm gonna regret asking it, but what is it?
Right.
With the mud flaps all hanging out.
Oh, goodness.
Absolutely perfect for going to ass Hooters. Oh, the can visits. They all nailed that one. How old was Doreen when she lost her spleen?
9?
I
She was young.
6 or 8, but
how old
9
was
could
Doreen
also
when
be
she
it.
lost her spleen?
Four.
All right. Half what I guess first. All right.
You even had the towels. You already know you got to have your can towels. Oh, we got John Haymaker, Jake Cruz, and LK all bringing it. She was absolutely 3 years old. Well done, you. How did it happen?
Pushed her off the swing, was it?
She fell while Charles.
Yeah, he pushed.
Yeah,
pushed too hard.
Correct. Oh, and it looks like we stumbled. So let's just make it a question. What was the husband's name?
Big Mike.
There you go, Big Mike. Absolutely correct. And what was his boat's name?
Was he the narrator for this episode?
He's the one who was talking earlier. Absolutely.
The motor boater.
Weird. He was the narrator. We only had him for like one scene.
Yeah,
technically 2.
And we didn't even see him until the very end. So it's like
until the very end. Yep.
Yeah, it's like who is talking right now?
And he looked exactly like I thought he would look like.
Can Mike.
I thought it was gonna be Melissa McCartney's actual husband again.
Yeah,
there's times when he would play her husband.
Yeah. Master Boater. Absolutely correct. What whiskey was Oliver looking for in the kitchen? You already know this one was coming if you're dealing with me. What whiskey did Oliver say he was looking for in the kitchen?
Totally don't remember.
Deep dive right there. You already know on this channel, they're going to be talking about some spirits. We're going to be talking about it. Oh, Haymaker already knows. He said, let me just tell you, it was Mr. Johnny Walker. Mm-hmm. Absolutely correct.
Oh, yeah, he was looking for it almost every other cabinet.
Yeah, he's like, the bar. Absolutely. Johnny Walker. What does Doreen call her signature cocktail?
Dang, I know what's in it. I know it's vodka and Crystal Light, of all things, but I know what you call it.
Bro.
He knows what it consists of, but does he know what it was called? We'll give you credit for the next question. That was it. What is it made of? You got it, vodka and Crystal Light, but what's it called? It has a very special name. Anybody remember what Doreen's special cocktail was called? What her signature cocktail was called? Putting that in the comment section. Oh, I was like, somebody knows. You already know that somebody's going to be Jake Cruz bringing it home. Sweaty Betty.
Such a random ass
Oh, yeah,
name.
then when he said toasted Betty, she hated Betty. I'm like, what the?
Like, she was a whore.
Rename it.
So good. What was the tune of Doreen's doorbell? I said it earlier. Anybody remember?
Billy Joel something or other.
Scenes from an Italian restaurant. Absolutely correct. How old was Doreen when her mom took her to see her big brother in one of his first plays?
Oh, I think this is the one when she was an older child.
Yeah.
8 or 9. Maybe
Oh, he
6.
held her hand.
I don't know why 6 is stuck in my head. Yeah. The only time that mommy held her hand, which is
Kind of
freaking
crazy.
wild. How are you walking around the boroughs and you not holding your kid's hand? What?
I guess it was Charles that was doing it, I guess.
Yeah, but they said, she's nuts. Like she said, she was nuts, and Charles kind of had that, doesn't want to admit it, but yeah, that's absolutely what it was. But yeah, we got it right here. No other guesses.
wild.
Jake Cruz bringing it home. She was 5 years old. Absolutely correct. Well done, Jake. What year did Loretta say that she did summer stock with Eugene? I think everybody's gonna get this one since
70s. I don't remember.
I seem the only since that I seem to be the
72,
only one that was such a huge
73.
deal to. Oh, Haymaker.
Was it that late?
No, it was incorrect.
In the 80s?
Yep. Of course, Jake Cruz absolutely bringing it home. It was 82. Absolutely. That's just what they said. 82. So does this mean they have different dads?
Was that a real thing?
I don't think that summer stock. Yeah. I don't think that they have real dads. I think that they have the same dad. 83. Nope, it was 82. 100%. He just said 82. They did a stage adaptation.
Wait, does what mean that they have different dads?
The mom, does Melissa McCarthy and Charles have different dads? Oh, you're asking
me? How they both act?
No, I'm saying, like what made that's what I'm asking. What made you think that they had different dads?
Just the age difference, maybe?
The age difference? Yeah, no. I don't know.
Didn't Charles' dad die when he was young? I don't know if he was young. He died when Charles was young.
I mean, yeah, well, young is a relative term.
But I mean, those two are quite a bit apart, 17 years. So yeah, that's actually a good point.
17 years. He still could have been young when his dad died.
Yeah, there's like a 17.
I need to know the age to think that.
So yeah, there actually could have been different dads right there. That could be. Anybody know what stage adaptation of James Bond that they played, that Eugene and Loretta played in?
Goldenfinger.
Ooh, good guess, but incorrect. It was a
James
Bond.
GoldenEye, the man with the golden gun.
What stage adaptation of James Bond did they play?
I haven't played that game on 64 in a while. That was a good ass game.
Goldfinger or Dr. No. Jake brings it home again. It was absolutely Moonraker. Well done. Well done. How much of their time did Eugene say actors spend on their actual job?
I don't remember.
How much of their time did Eugene say actors actually spend on their actual job? Everybody knows that? Put it in the chat box below. Name one of Ronnie's memes that Loretta was deleting.
There was a lot of memes.
Name one. Jake, bring it home again. Look at him go. Well done, Jake Cruz. Killing it. Here's a little bit of a deep dive, though. Can anybody name just one of the memes that Loretta was deleting that were supposedly from her friend Ronnie, that were actually from Oliver? Which one? He said a lot, so that makes sense. With whom did Loretta study stage combat? Who did Loretta study stage combat with?
That was a good play. Her trying to fake a heart attack, was it?
That was good, right? That worked out.
She was gonna die. I was like, damn.
This is how she goes out. This is how they take her out. No way. Who did Loretta study stage combat with? Anybody remember? That's a tough one. I did say it, though, during the recap. I brought it out specifically. And last but not least, how old was Charles when he broke his sister's spleen?
7.
Incorrect. Damn, Jake, good call.
No, I seen it when it was 3.
Actually doing the math because I just said it.
Yeah, that's I got as far as
20.
counting 2 numbers. I'm good on the math right now.
Who said I'm done? The math is not fun. Oh, Jake Cruz, John Haymaker bringing it home. He was absolutely 19 years old. Well done. You guys crushed it. Yeah, that was a lot of them. You guys did well on this one. Jake Cruz, of course, is bringing it home, but everybody kind of killed this one. Well done, you. But that's going to do it for me. We got a big Seahawks game going on right now, and I'm supposed to go down to Seattle and DJ one of these big clubs.
Good luck driving.
Well, yeah, it's going to be a nightmare. I have to get out of here. I'm running hell late. So this was so fun. Been having a blast. We're definitely going to be back on Tuesday doing the Penguin. So hope everybody out there is having an absolutely fantastic week, and it only gets better from here. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Peace.
Holy shit, I'm so